Hi y'all, this is Eva from the book blog astrikedarmchair.wordpress.com, and I'm here to talk about my library loot. I'm also, as you can see, wearing a sundress and I have my hair up in a bun, which is what I've looked like for the past week because Colorado has been experiencing this heat wave. Yesterday it hit 95, which is about 32 for my centigrade readers. And in Texas that wouldn't even make me blink. But here we don't have any air conditioning in our house, so it's been pretty intense. I've been kind of feeling like a pioneer, except of course I have a freezer, so I've pretty much been surviving on iced tea and these all-fruit popsicles that Breyers make. It's really good. Anyway, I only have 5 books to talk about this week, which, if you know my usual library habits, is quite impressive. I've been trying really hard not to go as crazy with putting holds all at once, and I actually returned 7 books from the library and only picked up these 5, so I was quite proud of myself. Of course, that means that I'll be able to ramble more about each individual title, and the vlog I won't be desperately worrying to try to finish in 10 minutes, which should make for a relaxing one. Okay, first up we have A Walk Among the Flowers by Jamaica Kincaid. No, Among Flowers, A Walk in the Himalaya by Jamaica Kincaid. The cover, unfortunately, isn't videoing well, but it's really pretty. It's a picture, and there are 2 little monks down here in the corner, other corner. And you can see some prayer flags up here. This is a travel memoir. It's nonfiction, and I just recently discovered Jamaica Kincaid last year, so I've been slowly working through her books. And it seems that she has a big thing for being like an amateur botanist, because she has another book all about gardens and stuff. And so I'm reading this for the What's in a Name challenge for the plant category, since flowers are plants. Really looking forward to it because I think Nepal and Tibet, I think it's Nepal. Yep. Sounds so interesting. I just recently saw a globe trekker on it, and now I totally want to go and check it out for myself. So in the meantime, I'll live vicariously. I'm sorry that the light is changing so much. The sun keeps appearing and reappearing behind the clouds. And so hopefully it won't affect y'all's ability to see too much. Okay. Belfield Hall by Anna Dean. I've had this one on hold for a while and it finally came in. Citizen Reader mentioned it, and it's fiction, which is very rare for her. And it's a contemporary book, but it's also a kind of historical mystery, and it's set, I think, in the Georgian period in England and at a big country estate, so it has that kind of feeling. And apparently it's about Miss Dido Kent, who is an aunt who comes to try to figure out where her niece's fiancé has disappeared to. Doesn't that sound fun? And Citizen Reader is a Jane Austen fan as well, so hopefully she and I will have similar taste regarding that. The Girl with Glass Feet by Ali Shah. This is another one that I've had on hold for a really long time. Way back when all those British bloggers were talking about it, what was that, like 3 months ago? That's when I put it on hold, and it took this long to get to me, but, you know, waiting just increases the pleasure. Anyway, it's, after reading all those reviews, I kind of skimmed them all, so all I know is that it has like a fable, fairy tale feel, and that most of them really enjoyed it. I'm going to keep it that way. Don't you love that cover? It looks nice and wintry, which will be a good balance to the heat that I've been dealing with this summer. Don't get me wrong, I love hot weather, I love the summer outside, but when I come inside, I don't know. I'd like to at least be able to cool it down to 75. That's okay. And then the last 2 books I've actually checked out from the library before, but I didn't get around to them, so I decided to go ahead and get a hold of them again. Daughter of Fortune by Isabel Allende. And I've been reading Allende on and off for quite a few years. I've always really enjoyed her. I think I started with House of Spirits. And Daughter of Fortune is actually part of a loosely linked trilogy, which includes Portrait and Sepia, and one other one. And this actually should have preceded Portrait and Sepia, but I didn't know that. So I've already read Portrait, and now I'll read kind of the backstory, so the generation before that. I loved Portrait. I read it in maybe 2 or 3 hours, all in one big gulp. I couldn't stop reading. So I'm hoping that this one is just as enjoyable. And apparently, Oprah picked it for her book club, which I didn't even know, but there's a nice little sticker. Must have been a while ago. This doesn't look like a new book. Anyway, A lot of the Latin American lit, when I look at lists and stuff, it tends to be dominated by male authors, which is fine, but that's one of the reasons why I'm happy that I love Isabella Allende so much. She kind of balances things out a little, in my own reading at least. Finally, Imperial Life in the Emerald City by, hang on, I'm going to butcher his name, Rajiv Chandrasekaran? I probably should have practiced that before I started recording. There. You can read it for yourself and figure out how to pronounce it. This is about Iraq, and it's inside Iraq's green zone. I believe he's a journalist, yeah, from the Washington Post, who spent quite a bit of time there. I tend to like books written by journalists, and I've especially noticed I like books written by journalists associated with the Washington Post, so I'm optimistic. I haven't read a book about the war in Iraq in, I think, over a year. For a while I was reading a lot of them, especially when I was in college, because I was an international relations major. But then I kind of got burned out, and now I guess I'm curious again. I know there have been a couple recently released books about the war, both in Iraq and in Afghanistan, that I would like to read, but I have to pace them out because, of course, I get very sad. War is always sad, isn't it? But I do enjoy international relations reading. Last year I read quite a bit of it with the World Citizen Challenge, and this year I've been kind of slacking off, so I'm going to up my game a little pretty soon here. And the sunlight has disappeared again, as you can see. But those are all of the books, and it was really fun to do a vlog again. I know I haven't done one in a while. Apologies for that. Hopefully by the time I come to you next week, I will be able to actually wear my hair down and maybe put on some short sleeves. Let's cross our fingers. I hope that everyone has a great week, and that if you too love your library, you will share what you got so that, you know, I can expand my to-be-read list even more. Bye, guys.